I'm very excited to talk to you, man. We're gonna be getting into Parallel Man in a little bit, but first, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. Or your passion to be a storyteller, because you're an amazing filmmaker, writer, director, producer. You know, where did that storytelling kind of come from? What was a certain comic, certain TV show, a movie to inspire, or something that was just naturally for you as a child?
I would say for me, it goes back to when I was a kid. There were two influences. There was the real space program that was going on. There were people going to the moon, and that was pretty exciting and epic. And then when I compared that to watching shows like Star Trek, and then eventually seeing the first Star Wars film when I was a kid. It's funny. A lot of my friends were into the action figures and pretending Star Wars. I was like, how did they make Star Wars? That was my thing. So I got really into trying to figure out the nuts and bolts of sci-fi filmmaking, visual effects, production design, creating worlds from scratch. And I think that in a lot of ways was the impetus for me. So then when I combined that with my interest in real space, and I was like, I want to use the technology in Star Wars to tell stories about real science and real space adventure. So that's what motivated me and got me going.
Very cool. Well, Parallel Man looks like a cool, like a space adventure. I love that it's kind of like a mix between like futuristic sci-fi. You also got like dinosaurs in it. I guess talk about the world that's built in this first.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Parallel Man, we did it a couple of years back, and it is actually, I've always. Like I said, I'm a big science enthusiast and physics and that sort of thing. And I'd heard about that concept of the multiverse or the many worlds theories, right? And I was like, man, wouldn't it be interesting to do a story about somebody who is hopping, that, had the ability to hop between parallel realities really quickly, and then what if there was like this totalitarian regime that was taking over all these different worlds and stuff in it, and and everything. So it's kind of a story structured a lot like the original Star Wars in a way, but instead of being in space and the space fantasy elements, it's a multiverse adventure. So that's what kind of started that. And I really wanted to mix in all kinds of cool things. I mean, with the fact that you have a multiverse, you can do all kinds of things in it. Like I've got kids who are really into dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. So I was like, okay, if we go to a universe, one of the universes needs to be a world where the dinosaurs weren't wiped out. And then so that's what you see in the story, right? That's a world where the dinosaurs just continue to evolve, and you ended up with these humanoid dinosaurs. And then there's another world that's kind of inspired by Blade Runner in the story for me in a way, so it's got a mix of all kinds of things that's sort of an homage to a lot of different sci-fi that I've enjoyed over the years, but it's got a really cool. I think the backbone's a cool story, So there was a comic book series. If you I can get you a copy of it so you can see it. We actually released a 7-issue comic book series and a graphic novel too. So
that was going to be my next question. So I guess talk about putting that together. You that came out first, right?
The comic book series actually, and the animation is just it's like an excerpt from the first issue of the comic book series actually. So it's actually scenes in the comic book. So
Very
which is
cool.
kind of cool. So,
Awesome, man. Well, you got amazing. Speaking of animation, you got amazing cast for this. Talk about putting together this. I mean, A-list of, or at least people have been in like dorky movies that I like, shows and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. I guess I really wanted to have a cast that had the pedigree to give the project some credibility. And I wanted some memorable, really cool voices. I'd never heard John Cho do any animation, but I always loved his voice. And I thought, man, he'd be awesome for this character. And sent him the script, and he's like, sure. And he was willing to do it, which was awesome. And the same thing happened with Ming-Na Wen. She agreed to do it. And Lance Reddick, it turns out, was actually a friend of mine. So it was really cool getting those three together and everything to do this whole thing. So I had. I worked as a director for a couple of decades, but it was the first time that I got to work with cast of that magnitude, for me as a director, and it was really interesting. I had to kind of take a deep breath and go in there and do it, and it worked out great. We all got along super well, and it was like totally chill. And as a matter of fact, Ming was very complimentary of the production. She said that we actually had better quality previs than she had when she worked with Disney on Mulan. So that was a huge.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that was huge. That was really cool. So yeah.
That is cool. So it's getting released March 28th. It's coming out through Gunpowder and Sky Sci-Fi label Dust. I guess you could talk about those companies and exactly.
Yeah, so Dust is like a really cool platform where it's like a streaming platform that focuses on sci-fi short films. So there are all kinds of cool sci-fi short films, but they also develop full feature films and TV shows as well. So we've got to deal with them not only to release these two projects on Dust, but we also potentially could be developing them into something bigger. We'd love to take Parallel Man and turn that into a TV series. And as a matter of fact,
absolutely.
I've broken it down. Yeah, I mean, it's we've already done a breakdown. We've got a whole TV Bible and everything. We could do several seasons of a TV show for that and everything. So it should be really
cool. I was
cool.
going to ask if you would turn it into a film, but actually a TV series would probably be way better. You can dive into it.
Yeah, I think a TV show lets you go a little further. And this story, you'll see when you read the comic book series, it's really deep. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's a big world, and it's a big world with very interesting characters and plots and twists. And I think a TV show would do it justice, and everything. So, and I'm talking about maybe 10 episode, kind of 10 episode seasons, kind of something like that. Well,
it's cool. You started as the comic, animation, live action TV show.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, before I let you go, anything else you're allowed to talk about before I let you go? Anything,
Well, we've got, Future Dude, my company, we've got all kinds of really cool sci-fi projects that are in development. We're working on a feature film called Persephone right now that's in pre-production. It stars Brianna Hildebrand from the Deadpool films. And that movie is about a journey to the nearest star, and it's totally realistic and everything. You can check it out on futuredude.com. You can see it. So Persephone should be going into production about this time next year, and we've been developing that for a number of years. Super cool visual effects, very realistic, but grounded. But it's an awesome story. It's about humans going someplace that we've never been before.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Lastly, where can we follow your amazing journey on social media?
I would say the futuredude.com is a great place right now. We're expanding all of our Instagram, Twitter, and all that. So that'll be coming up. We'll get you the links on all that and everything. So So there's also a Future Dude Entertainment on Facebook. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, keep up the amazing work, and we'll talk down the road or future projects. All right.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.